career. And them Empire checks is no longer coming in. So he's on OnlyFans.
Oh, baby. Y'all better get in here for this mess. Can y'all believe that after all this bruhaha that the prosecutors caused, Diddy still found a way to get acquitted of all his charges and he is actually coming home? But get this, his victims, including Bryshere Gray, are not having it and they are marching the streets to demand justice. Apparently, Bryshere Gray was putting together a $50 million lawsuit against Diddy for what he did and Will Smith allegedly did to him, but with Diddy's new win in court. He doesn't even want to bother going through with the lawsuit no more because they'll play in his face just like they did to Cassie. In fact, the first thing Diddy tried to do when he was acquitted of his RICO charges was post bail, so he could come back home and start terrorizing all the witnesses who took the stand, starting with Cassie. But the judge said and denied that bail with immediate effect. The mess went down when the jurors on Diddy's case failed all his victims and possibly even put their lives in danger when they found him not guilty of 3 out of the 5 federal charges he was facing, including his RICO charge, which was the biggest charge of them all. The prosecution dragged Cassie's heavily pregnant self to the stand to relive traumatic experiences, brought in witnesses who never even wanted to be on the stand in the first place, only for the jurors to turn around and pull something like this. Luckily, the 2 other charges he was found guilty of, which include transportation of Cassie and Jane Doe for prostitution, is enough for him to be put in jail for 20 years, but people are now scared that he might serve those 20 years on probation instead of in an actual prison. When he got acquitted of those RICO charges, his baby oil fans were outside the courtroom acting a fool and celebrating by pouring baby oil all over themselves. Even the popular blogger, Our Mom Wiggins, joined in to dance and drench himself in baby oil. Diddy's son Christian was also caught outside the courtroom dancing and telling folks that his pops was gonna come home soon.
Once court was adjourned, family members cheered today's verdict. Combs' son, Christian, telling ABC News how happy he is.
Hey, yo, we love y'all. We love everybody watching. So happy. Pop's coming home. God bless. God bless the whole world.
What was going through your head when the verdict was read? Happy.
But while all these folks were celebrating, Cassie's lawyer, along with the lawyers of the witnesses who took the stand, were working overtime to convince the judge not to grant Diddy the bail he was desperately looking for because he would try to harm them for taking the stand and testifying against him. Cassie's lawyers wrote a letter to the judge that said, "We write as counsel for Cassandra Ventura to respectfully request that the court deny Mr. Combs to be released pending his sentencing on his 2 convictions. Ms. Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself as well as to the community." And the judge wasn't messing around, y'all, because he denied Diddy's bail. And according to him, he denied it because he does in fact believe that Diddy is a threat to the witnesses who took the stand and even the ones who may have not gotten on the stand but has information on him that he doesn't want them having. One of those people include Bryshere Gray, and as I said earlier, word on the street is he was also putting together a lawsuit against Diddy, but decided to drop it after seeing the verdict. Jaguar Wright was the first person to spill the tea about this lawsuit a while ago, and she didn't hold back from going in on Bryshere's mother and his ex-manager for selling him to Diddy and Will to be their freak-off boy toy.
Say, Andy, I'm talking about Bryshere's mom. I'm gonna kick you in your in and I'm gonna go to work North Philly style. F you and Charlie. You happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell. I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. you. You CI. I'm sorry. That came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the fuck away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago State to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was. She went from dealer to dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy. And I hope anybody that bought it asks for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your son's gate. You and Charlie Mack.
Jaguar also claimed that after Cassie filed her lawsuit, Bryshere was also in talks with lawyers to file a lawsuit against Will and Diddy, but he was allegedly threatened and had to pull back from it because his life was in danger. Jaguar even went as far as claiming that there is a secret tape of Justin Bieber, Will, Jaden, Diddy, and Bryshere having a freak off. And she is one of the few people who has seen it.
See, they trying to slay him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
Okay.
I really hope none of that baby oil was used on those kids. That would just be in bad taste. Baby oil on babies.
You can't say that the flavor camp was sponsored by Johnson & Johnson. You just come on. Come on.
Starting to sound that way, ain't it?
No.
All that talent, and she let Charlie tune that boy up on, knowing that he was bipolar and had ADHD. What kind of mother would do that to her son? Turn him into a prostitute so you could pretend to be something more than what you are, which is nothing more than a filly. You're a big old they're making your son out to be, that's for sure. Because he didn't have no choice. You was down by all.
Now, when it comes to the exact lawsuit she's talking about, people believe it's the $50 million lawsuit against Diddy and Will, which Bryshere was previously reported to be working on. This suit was revealed by a blind item, and it read, "I suspect the soon-to-step-forward male victim of sex by this A-list mogul will not be the last man to do so. Sean Diddy Combs." Now, for those of y'all wondering how Diddy even got access to Bryshere to play with him like this, well, it turns out that when Bryshere was just 17, he was dragged into a mentorship program with Will and Diddy by Charlie Mack. But as you can already tell, no mentorship happened during his time there. Diddy was basically supposed to be his music mentor, so he was gonna teach him how to make better music. Since Bryshere wanted to do rap, and Will helped him sharpen his acting skills. Since this was around the time that he blew up on Empire and was beginning to get other acting gigs. But according to Jaguar Wright, Diddy and Will allegedly turned Bryshere into their boy toy and freaked off with him against his will for years. Jaguar also said that the freak-offs would get so rough that Bryshere would try running, but they just catch up to him and bring him back to continue. Just like what Diddy used to do to Cassie. Jaguar claims one of such instances was Bryshere and Meek Mill were heard running out of Will's house with no clothes on and screaming for help because Will and Jada had them freaking off for hours with no plans of stopping. And considering the fact that Cassie recently admitted to the freak-offs sometimes lasting for up to 4 days, these claims sounded believable to a lot of people.
Bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Terrence Howard made things messier when he also stepped into the chat and seemingly confirmed that the reason why Bryshere is the way he is now is because he got played with by Diddy and Will. During a recent interview, he said there were young men that were getting bent over in the industry in the name of mentorships and acting contracts, and that once those men allowed other men to sleep with them, they were never the same.
Lose your man card. That's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
It's unclear if Bryshere will still come out and tell everyone what Diddy did to him after seeing the verdict that the jury gave, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. One person said, the fact that we have a video of him beating up Cassie. Some people still have the nerve to take his side as if he's an innocent angel. This world is scary. Another person said, he has dirt on some powerful people. That's the only reason the whole court proceedings were very sketchy despite the overwhelming evidence. How is he charged for the lighter crimes? How can he possibly transport without trafficking his victims? It goes hand in hand. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Diddy getting acquitted of his RICO charge? And do y'all think this is a slap in the face of some of his victims like Bryshere Gray? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.